Yes, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to Studio Live today and hashtag Songtember live right here on the channel. I hope you are doing well. If you have never been around this channel before, my name is Pete, and this is Studio Live today, where my goal is to help you create, record, and release your best music. I do that through tips and tricks and tutorials and live videos, just like this one. Just like this one, hashtag Songtember Live. What is Songtember? If you're just joining this and going, what's this Songtember caper all about, Pete? Well, Songtember is a month where we've renamed September to Songtember because we want to, I want to encourage you to create, record, and release an entire song in the month of September, or Songtember as we call it. So I'll be doing that here on the channel. It is the 4th of Songtember here in Australia. It is Friday morning. It'll be Thursday evening or afternoon for you, depending where you are in the world. And we're only just getting started here, but already I'm seeing so many people creating so much good music that it actually just warms the cockles of my heart, because everyone is getting involved, creating some great music. And like I say, we're 3-4 days in, and we're already seeing like almost complete songs. It's going to be the 15th of the month, and everyone's going to be done. And we'll be like, oh, well, that was a good month. What do we do now? No, I think we'll be fine. We'll pop that one away. I am using a new platform today, so if it's a little bit clunky, I apologize. I'm just getting used to using Restream, which is a little different from StreamYard that I normally use. I'm just testing out. Got to try new things. Hello to the folks on YouTube, streaming to Facebook. So I've got Studio Live today and my Pete John's music channel there, and I'm streaming to Twitch for the first time. I have no idea what I'm doing over there, but I'm just experimenting, because why not? G'day to the folks who are here live. We've got Mr. Stu Cash, evening to you. Tom Rochelle is here. We got SM Borthwick, Metallion 58. G'day to you. Alex Bacchus is here. Desolate morning. Hello again. Yes, I did a bit of a test run, a bit of a dry run of this earlier, just to make sure everything was ticking along. We got Patrick Chandler is here. Amarasia. Hello to you. Yes, click the notification. Yes, there may be issues because there was, like I said, I did go live before, but we're all good now. We're ready to rock and roll. Arnie G, I'm becoming addictive. Oh, I'm sorry. Hopefully a positive addiction. Hopefully addictive in a good way. Langston Rees, hey, how are you doing? Oh, hey. I've been listening to the Simpsons podcast at the moment. What is it called? Simpsons, Talking Simpsons. I'm a huge Simpsons fan. Nice shirt. Yeah, so you can't really see it, but yeah, I've got the Songtember shirt. Let me just give you there you go. Got the rainbow logo and the Songtember shirt. So I had to get something special made up for Songtember. Jade Star is here, says day 4 of Songtember and into song 3 of an EP. So Jade's like, overachiever, going to do an EP, three-track EP for the month of Songtember. Yeah, what do we do now? Rocktober. Once we're finished with Songtember, you can just rock on into Rocktober. Tej Modadi, hello to you. Good to have you here on board. Healing Heart, hello to you. Nice to have you here. Who haven't I said g'day to? I think I've said hello to everyone that's here. I know we've got Fallen, we've got My Own Way, and we've got Gustafet. Hello to you. G'day everyone. I hope you're doing well. And we are going to crack on and take a look at what's going on here. So what I want to hear from you, I've got to work out how to get rid of there we go. I think I did it there. The little chat thing here, once I put one up, there's a little button to remove it, but yeah, it's taking some getting used to, but that's okay. We're going to roll with it. So yeah, we are going to take a look at my song. So you would have seen that in the intro there. That is where we're at the moment. We've got tracks everywhere. It's all happening. It's all going on here. As usual, completely just all over the shop. No rhyme or reason, and I haven't named any of them well either. So I need to go back and do some organization in Garageband to get that thing happening. So what I want to hear from you is obviously some ideas for my song as I show you this. We'll go through and I'll take you through the process I've been through thus far. And I also want to hear about your song. So and I'll start with this question. I didn't get a little caption ready, so sorry, I'll just have to say it verbally. But what's been the biggest challenge that you think you've faced so far? For those that are participating, have you had writer's block? Have you got frustrated with chord progressions just not coming together? You've chosen instrument out of tune, or I don't know. What is it? What's been your biggest challenge thus far? My biggest challenge, and it always is this, it's that point where I write the riff, I write the demo, it's sounding good, and then I come to actually start recording what I think is going to be like more of a finalized part. So here's the thing. I suck at drums. I'm happy to admit that. It's why Jade Star drums on most of my tracks, because she usually says, Pete, it's okay. I'll fix it for you. Jade will fix. And I'm like, thank you. So yeah, I suck at drums. So my original drums here are kind of all over the place. Like if we play these along, they sound okay by themselves. But if you play these to the metronome, you'll hear just how out of time my drumming is. Let's take a quick listen to this. I'll turn up the volume. Now, these were just played using the touchscreen drums. So these were just literally tapped in here on the screen. And they were only ever going to be placeholders to work out what style of drums I actually wanted in here. So I then yesterday grabbed my MIDI keyboard and I'm like, I'll be able to get the timing perfect on my MIDI keyboard. And I start bashing out on that and the timing is still crappy. And the problem is, I want these drums to sound good. The timing was crappy. You might think, Pete, come in here and do your quantization, buddy. No quantization really helps because some bits are so out of time that I can't really get them to sound right. And it's not really a straight rhythm, but it's not really a swing rhythm. It's a rock rhythm, and quantization doesn't really work that well with rock songs where you want sort of those ghost notes, like you want a little bit of something there. So what does this all mean? Well, it means that I'm frustrated, but it means that I probably need to finally, once and for all, I've been promising this probably since last Songtember, to plug in my E-drums and actually play some drums. I need to step it up. I can play some drums live, and I'm definitely better with a couple of sticks and pedals in my hands and feet than I am with just the touchscreen or just a MIDI keyboard. So that is the plan, and I need to get cracking onto it. I might even try and do it today. The problem is that my drums are not in this room. So if I want to do a video about the drums, I have to kind of set up a portable rig up there. But you know what? That should be no excuse. I am a mobile content creator. This should be my bread and butter, right? So I should be all over it. But that's been my biggest frustration. Live stream the drums when you play. Yeah, maybe I should do a live stream of my drumming and give it a go. And Jade says, yes, if you need me to add drums, send me the track. I'll fit you in. Yeah. With all the other things that you're doing as well, Jade, you'll still manage to drum on my track. Let's take a look and see if anyone has let us know about any of their challenges. What about Nerdvember? Oh, I'd love Nerdvember. Funnily enough, after probably in October, actually, I've said it a few times. I've got my other channel called Semi Nerd, which I'm focusing in more on just the random stuff, not just music. And I'll probably kick that into gear in October or maybe Nerdvember. There you go. Maybe we'll kick it on. And Metallion says we could redo the theme for Lord of the Rings for Nerdvember. Yeah, that'd be cool. Or the Revenge of the Nerds. Revenge of the Nerds. Oh. Fallen says his challenge is trying to figure out how to even start the song. That can be tricky. That can definitely be a thing. You can sit there with like a blank canvas or a blank piece of paper or a blank screen, iPad screen or whatever you're using, and it can definitely be a challenge. Tom Rochelle says the biggest challenge are distractions, other commitments, and indecisiveness. Wow, that's three big ones there. Distractions, definitely. Oh, something shiny. Distractions, definitely. Other commitments, I hear you. Living, paying the bills, working your job, family, friends, all those things. Latest Netflix series, whatever it is. There are commitments and there's things. And then, of course, indecisiveness. Oh, my goodness. How much up in our own heads do we often get? I know I do. The indecisiveness can be crippling at times. Here we go. Life goal achieved from Andy Goldsby. I programmed my own drums. Love it, mate. Well done there. Tej Moody said, biggest challenge so far is recording without live instruments. I'm new to using synth still. And my kid. Continue on. And your kid. Oh, sorry. I thought there was more to that. My kid. ... It might have just cut off. In case you didn't realize, I'm using a new. My kid's stealing my phone and hitting undo on everything while I'm mastering. Yeah, that's not good. What other folks have we got here? Amorous, a biggest challenge for me was sending my song to Amuse by September the 1st, despite knowing that I should have and could have worked longer and made it a little better. All right, so comments are being truncated, so I'll have to continue reading the rest of the comments where they get cut off. Bring out the E-drums, yes, absolutely. I'm here as a backup. There you go. You're on the bench. Video some drums. Yeah, I probably need to do that, don't I? Probably just need to suck it up and get it happening. No, I can't. There's a separate button for hiding the messages, and I've got to go right back up to the top. Anyone else got any challenges? No, November. Excuse me. I may have to cough occasionally here. It is now springtime here in Australia. You know what springtime means? Pollen out the wazoo. It's like beautiful weather. I'm like, great, beautiful weather. And now it's like, yeah, I've just got over like cold and flu season, and now it's like, yeah, it's now dry, scratchy throat and runny face because of all the pollen out there. Yo, yo. Righty dokie. Yeah, bench warmer. There you go. Okie dokie. Let's continue on. Medallion says also indecisiveness is my greatest challenge. Yeah, I hear that. Let's bring back on the track here, and oh, missed my mute button that time. I'll hide that message there. So as I mentioned, if you've been following along, then you'd know where we're at with this. If you haven't, then yeah, I apologize. You can go back and check it. There's a link down in the description to the full playlist. But where we started, let's do a quick recap, shall we, on where we started, and then we'll sort of layer up this as we go, because you can see I've had some fun yesterday with some MIDI. I got the MIDI keyboard out and I sucked at drums so hard that I went and played keys instead, because I'm like, I'm going to play to my strength. So what did we start with? Well, we started actually with these little guitar ideas down here. So I basically just jammed on some guitar ideas, eventually put together this track, which I have cut up and spliced up, which I did in yesterday's video. And now, if we zoom in on those suckers, you can see here that we've got our just 2-bar lead in, and then we've got our intro, and then we've got our verse, and then we've got our little interlude main riff part, and then verse, and then eventually to our chorus. So here's the ideas as they are. You'd remember the intro and the main riff if you saw the first video. It sounds a little bit like this. And then this next section is where we're going into the verse, where it just hangs out on this chord for a while. And this is where I've added some lyrics, which I'll show you in a little while. But this is the verse riff that does its little 8-bar thing like this. Back to a little interlude there again. Does the verse riff again, the little interlude main riff. So that main riff is going to play throughout, and I need to work through some variations of that. We then jump into the chorus riff, which kind of changes things up a bit. And this is where I've borrowed from so many different bands. The beauty part of this is that no one's going to be able to say, you just stole a Blah song, because to me, this song sounds like a little bit Silverchair, Grinspoon, Jebediah, a few Australian sort of grunge band from the 90s. It's a bit Alice in Chains, it's a bit Soundgarden, it's a bit Pearl Jam, it's a bit Nirvana, it's a bit Stone Temple Pilots. So I've kind of taken all of my old school 90s grunge influences and smooshed them all together and stolen bits from all of them. So yes, I'm lifting things from different songs and different styles, but hopefully it all comes together as one semi-original piece. Anyway, here's the chorus riff. And then we continue on and we go back into our sort of second verse section there, back through the interlude, moving things around. There you go, GarageBand, you can't freeze tracks. And then after this one, so we'll just play this part here, the 5th time around with the main riff, we then go into the bridge riff where things change up completely. And this is where I get more of that sort of punk rock kind of vibe going on. So we change things up a bit. Let's take a listen to this part. So we play that for a little bit, we do a little bridge section, and then we go into a variation of the bridge section, which does this. And that sort of climaxes here and then goes down into like a little quiet main riff section that rings out before it comes into this part. And this is where I haven't really done much. I've got this fast section here, and this is what I need to write in the next couple of days, because I really want it to come in and then do like a like a 4 stick hits, and then like really just kick in and finish off with a really fast. And again, that's a technique 100% borrowed from all of my favorite bands. So that's the song structure. That's what we've had so far. The bass I've kind of just tried to follow along with. I won't spend much time on that because I really need to redo it, but it's just using a pretty simple sort of bass line here. If we come in here. So at the start it's just doing that sort of action, and then as we come into more of the regular riff, just hanging out on the notes basically, just driving things along with the rhythm. So what I really want to get eventually is the bass and the drums to really lock into each other. They're not at the moment, so if we play them together, my original drums that I tried to program myself. It's a dog's breakfast. So it's not a happening thing. But what I do have is what I put on yesterday is Darcy as a placeholder. So what I need to do is I need to record my bass and my guitars and everything to Darcy, because I'm not good enough to play the drums without the rest of the track. So I'm going to use Darcy as my metronome. So these aren't the final drums, but as you'll hear, when we bring these in with the guitar, they sound an awful lot better because they're actually right on the beat. So they're not exactly the pattern I want, but they sound a heck of a lot better. So that it'll do its thing for now, and it's going to be a placeholder. So and the reason I have that is rather than playing along to this metronome, any sort of drum beat is going to be better than your metronome. Excuse me. I'm learning to cough into my elbow. Anyone else, like, you're so used to it, like for 35 years I coughed into my hand, and I know that's terrible, especially now, and then it's only been like recently that the kids are like being taught to cough into their elbow, and then you still see old people like me walking around coughing into our hands, and then I'm like, oh, quick, hand sanitizer, which I carry. I've got like a pocket that's just got, at the moment, just full of hand sanitizer at the moment, in a tube, not just shoved into my pocket. That would be weird. Right, so that's what we've got so far. I'll show you a couple more things, but we'll jump back over. This is going to be a bit segmented because I want to make sure that I'm spending some time chatting with the folks who are here live as well. Folks like the wonderful Alex Bacchus, who has thrown a super chat here our way. Thank you for the €3. It helps out, seriously. When I do these videos, I do really appreciate any support. And Alex, you've been doing one, hands down, the sign of the horns with sparkles around. So I'm assuming that's what it says on, that's what the super sticker says, except it's weird. It gives you the description of it here, as opposed to actually showing it. But I think that's kind of fine. Hands doing the horns with sparkles around. I like it. I can picture it in my head. Amarasaya said, I've coughed in my elbow. Almost my whole life was taught by a guy at karate when I was a kid. There you go. Who had a second job as a nurse. Well, there you go. See, you're all over it. It's definitely a better way to go. I hear some AC/DC, possibly. Old Muse in the heavy riff there. Yes, definitely some Muse, Metallica, AC/DC. Basically every band I've ever listened to, I'm kind of trying to pay homage to. Thank you to Jade, who's helping out Lil Pora with some help there. Josh Gates, hello, good to have you here, my friend. Reminds me of Collective Soul. Yeah, so there you go. Hopefully by the end of this, it'll sound like everyone's favorite band. That'd be really cool. The guitar has such clean distortion. So yeah, I'm super happy. It's a bit weird. Part of me wants to go and start exploring a bunch of other guitar tones, but this brownstone, like I started with this sort of brownstone amp sim here. I just tweaked the sound a little bit, and I'm kind of like, it has that very simple, that kind of Boss DS1 style crunch distortion on there that is dirty but clean all at the same time. So don't quite know how to explain it, but yeah, I'm enjoying it. So I don't know if I'm going to change the guitar tone. It might stay as that all the time. Righty dokey. Let's go. Let's continue on. I'll bring this. I'm sorry. I'm getting used to. I'll stop apologizing for getting used to this setup, but it will take me a little while to get it happening. Actually, this might look better Sorry, I'm just experimenting on the fly here. If I shimmy this across, that might look even better, because that way it's not obscuring my logo, important branding, and my head. So yeah, let's go with that. We'll try that for now. So we've got the guitar. We've got the bass. We're going to bring Darcy back in here so that they're all sort of linked in. And you can see there that they're all segmented out there so that they all come together nicely. Now, last night, as I said, I started working on some different sounds. I needed a heavy metal organ. Like, there's something about a heavy metal organ or some sort of organ or B3 kind of sound. I think it was, was it Tom or Alex? Someone mentioned, yeah, you need to get some organ going on in there. And I'm like, absolutely do. So I thought I'd put some organ pretty much throughout the track, like playing all the way through. So let's take a listen to this organ part. I'll turn it up so we can hear it a bit better. This is from the start. So it's kind of doing double duty here, right? It's a pad in those sections where it's just playing the riff, so it's not kind of overdoing it. But then when we go into the bit that's not the sort of lead style riff, it's doing these little twiddles here, and I think that's going to work well so that we can have it kind of not distracting from the riff when the riff's playing, but then when it's just hanging out on that chord, we get a little bit of a counter melody in there to the vocals. The next thing we added here was this one. We threw in some evolving colors. What I'll do is I'll just leave the drums on. I'll turn off the guitars because you're not going to be able to hear it, and it'll suddenly sound like a Killers track because I'll replace all the guitars with keys and it'll sound like a Killers track. So if we come back here, from the start here, we've got the organ that comes in, and then these evolving colors synth will come in as well and do this. Adding a bit of a bass, just playing like those octave bass. So that was sounding pretty good, and then I'm like, okay, I need some sort of pad to sit in the middle there, so that's where I grabbed the synth pop strings. Now, all of these are not even Alchemy synth. These are all the classic synth sounds in Garageband, which is why Garageband still remains my songwriting tool, because these might not be the final tones, but it is so easy to find a tone, throw it in there, and it sounds good. It sounds good, not great, but it sounds good already. So you can start getting an idea of what you're actually mixing together. So let's take a listen to this section here from the start with the organ and these two synth sounds in to pad out this track. So what I've done here, and what I've learnt over time from a lot of other folks much more experienced and talented than I, is that don't think that, oh, I've got a rock song, it's got to only have guitars and bass and maybe some like E-piano and that's about it. You can't use synth sounds. You absolutely can. The Killers, Muse, all these bands, like every band you listen to, Pearl Jam, like every band has some sort of synth sound. Unless you're doing for that absolute raw three-piece grunge Nirvana sound, then yeah, you're going to use some synth sound. So the key with these is to less is more. and using them as a pad when you've got other things doing the melody. So because I've got some pretty heavy melody going on with the lead riffs there, I want to add some vocals and some backing vocals. None of this, in my view, needs to be particularly intricate or trying to play its own melody. It's kind of just kicking along the song. So that's what I'm going for. Still a work in progress at the moment. You might have noticed here, I've added an arpeggio. So for the second one, I've brought in this second synth sound. So to make the whole second verse section different from the first, because making things different is important when you're doing a song like this, because it's a bit of a long song. It's a little draggy because it's at 70 BPM basically, or 140/70, depending whether you're doing half-time or full-time. So it needs something to bring it along. And I I lifted this from some of my favorite Killers tracks, because Brandon Flowers uses a lot of very cool arpeggiated sounds in his tracks. But for the second time around, I added in this little lead part. So let's take a listen to that now. So everything else is kind of doing almost the same thing, but again, we're layering it up. We're bringing in new things and new components that are complementing that. So I'm hoping when it comes to the final stage that will actually work well in with the track. Let's just bring everything together and do a quick rough mix and balance here so you can get a feel for how everything will sound together. Now, what I'm realizing is the guitars were slightly out of tune. As soon as you add in keyboard instruments, you realize how out of tune your guitars really are. So the guitars will be obviously re-recorded, but at the moment they don't quite match some of those keyboard sounds because they were out of tune when I recorded them. So let's hit play on this section and I'll do a quick static mix on the fly. There it is. So yeah, that again, it's coming together okay. So I guess my learning from this is, and the reason I asked about frustrations at the start is, these drums were doing my head in. Like I couldn't get these drums sounding the way I wanted to. So what did I do? Did I stress out? Did I pull my hair out? Well, I don't really have much to do. Did I go and have a tantrum? No, I went, what do I do well? What am I going to enjoy? I know, going and layering some key sounds. Let's just grab my keyboard and layer some keyboard sounds and see if we can come up with something cool. I think we've come up with something pretty decent that will probably make it to the final mix. And then I'm like, oh, let's just throw on the drummer track for now. Like, settle with that. So at the moment, it's not exactly where it needs to be, but it's coming along. It's what I call positive procrastination. When you've got something you really need to do and that you're struggling with, instead of just walking away and going and binge watching Netflix, do something different for a while. Like do something that's going to still add to your track or make it something. Write some lyrics, get down some lyrics ideas, write some keyboard parts, play guitar riffs for a completely different song, but do something that's going to take your mind away. Because now I'm kind of ready to come and attack these. I'm ready to come and play these drums now that I know that they're going to fit in. And now that I've heard how out of time and out of tune these guitars are, I want to make sure I get a decent drum track down and some decent guitars. So that is where I'm at. I'll show you the vocals, but I'll save that for the end of the stream because I've been neglecting folks who are over here on the chat. We'll come back, we'll shimmy that over there, and I'll come back up here and see what I've missed out on from folks chatting here. There we are. So Jade says it's a great guitar tone. For some reason, I can't ever get a great tone in GarageBand. Yeah, and for some reason, I can't get a great tone out of GarageBand. Every time I think, oh, I better change out the GarageBand tone for a better tone, I end up making it sound worse. So go figure. It's Lost the musical. Lost was a TV that people literally compared to. Yeah, Lost. It's like the X-Files meets Gilligan's Island. Actually, that's a really good explanation of Lost. Anyway, Tom Rochelle, it's a very nice distortion tone. Yeah, I just think it sounds good. I don't know. Paul says, do you think this will be the heaviest song you've ever wrote? It's a really good question. Probably. It probably will end up being one of the heaviest songs that I've written. I'm trying to think back. I wrote a song called What You Deserve, which was probably slightly heavier than this. It was faster, so it felt heavier. But actually, that was a Fear Cut song. So yeah, as far as a Pete Johns branded song, this is probably going to be the heaviest. I also wrote a song called Bully, which had a lot more sort of distorted tones like this. But yeah, I've been spending so much time on the acoustic guitar lately that I would say so. SM Borthwick says the Brownstone is a good amp. Used it in the rhythm of my most recent release. Excellent, which I did see come through, Scott, and that will be definitely one that will be playing on Your Music Live tomorrow. I need to get all my stuff together for all my live streams for the weekend. Benedict Stewart, song sounds great. Thank you. Hello to Karen. Your channel is the reason I started recording my guitar. Well, that is awesome. I appreciate that, and I'm glad to hear it. That's 100% my goal. Create, record, release. It's not just a catchy catchphrase. It's why I'm here. It's what I'm doing. Metallions, it sounds great, so can't wait for the vocals. Yeah, I'll give you a quick sneak peek. I haven't written words. I'll tell you that much. There are no words for the vocals yet, but there is a bit of a vocal melody. And Amorosia, remember to like the video. Thank you. Yes, I do appreciate some what I call thumb love, which some people are kind of grossed out by. I mean, it's meant in a nice way. Come on. We're PG-13 around here, people. Tom Rochelle, really like the addition of that synth bass. Yeah, I love a good synth bass to go along with your bass. Like if we come in here, which one was it? It was the Evolving Colors, wasn't it? Yeah, I think it can just really add to it. Often your bass sounds a bit thin in these sort of songs because you'll bring in a bunch of guitars, bunch of vocals, bunch of drums, and everything's up in the mids and the highs, and your poor bass guitar and kick drum are down there trying to like do double duty. So if you just bring in something like this, like a bit of a synth bass, and it adds a bit of that, like that rising action. It's kind of, and again, this is absolutely by default. Like you don't have to do anything with this. You come in here, if you hold down a key, it does that automatic delay. So you don't have to do anything fancy. And again, I know I'm like an advertisement for GarageBand. You don't have to do anything fancy because it kind of does all the work for you. It adds the effects, it adds the different sort of rising element in there. So yeah, I'm a big fan of adding some sort of synth bass. I'm not good at saying synth bass. Yeah, definitely still use the old school synths for the win. Where is Sion? Good question. So I was going to say Sion must have slept in, but wait, it's like 5 o'clock in Canada. He's probably busily working on his songs. Paul says, with the drums, synth strings, that inharmonic lead, it sounds like it's part of an 80s pop song. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's weird because I'm doing all this 90s sort of grunge and rock, and then, yeah, there's definitely, if I play just these bits together, it could definitely sound almost like new wave style. Like if we just play this section, and we take those away, it could be like, I'm going down to San Francisco. Now it's a Tom Jones. I don't know. It's a bit weird. Let's see. I'm just saying who else we've got. Some comments. Jack Smith, g'day to you. Always good to see you here, my friend. Goran Larson, I like the GarageBand stock amps. Yeah, I do, my friend. I do as well. They sound good. Tom Rochelle says, I thought that one Fear Cut song was pretty heavy. Pete played a snippet of it recently. Maybe it was Bully. Yeah, no, Bully's the Pete Johns song that never really went anywhere. I didn't really like it. But, yeah, it is a Fear Cut song, and it's called What You Deserve. And it is one of my heaviest songs. I need to test out, so I might play a little bit of it in a minute, because I need to test out playing back audio through. In fact, let's do that now. While I'm thinking of it, let's just come in here. And I'll find this tune. I'm sure it's on YouTube somewhere. I put everything on YouTube. What You Deserve, Fear Cut. We'll just play a little bit of the intro of this, and you can tell me if this sounds a bit heavier. Yeah, yeah, so that's definitely, I won't play any more of that because I'm pretty sure it's that song that I released using Amuse, and I have the YouTube Content ID copyright on it as Fearcut through Amuse, and whenever I've played too much of that song or Goats, my other Fearcut song, I get a copyright claim against myself. And it's a bit of a pain in the butt because it's admin work, and I want to make music. I don't want to do admin. So yeah, be careful with that. With using YouTube Content ID, think about the flow-on effects of you using your own music, and anything else, because YouTube doesn't care if someone else is using your music or if you're using your music. It'll still hit you up with a copyright claim. So far, so good. Thank you, Steve, over there on Facebook, and that's confirmed that the Facebook linking is working here because I'm using Restream and it's streaming out everywhere, and apparently Facebook is working. Deep Gravity, hello to you, my friend. Good to have you on board, of course. And Tom Rochelle said the synths have a lot of motion. It brings everything to life. It really does. It really does help out. All right, I think I'm nearly at the bottom. Yes, I'm nearly I am. And correct, you do now. So the free version used to have Content ID. You now need to go to Amuse Pro if you want to use Content ID. Question from John. Can I upload a song that I began in August? Sure, why not? The rules of Songtember are there are no rules, except there's a couple. No, the whole purpose of Songtember is to get folks creating music. And yeah, I'm not gonna go, oh, you started writing that riff. Like, I'll be perfectly honest, I wrote this riff on August 31st. So there you go. I've already cheated. So yes, you can feel free to cheat. And if you've started it in August, that is absolutely fine. Hey to you, Bubba. Good to have you here on board. Running late again. That is totally fine, my friend. This is a bit of an off-cycle Friday morning, Thursday night stream for me. We'll obviously be back over the weekend to do some more. All right, I've buried the lead. Oh, Benny Sandu. Hello to you, my friend. Good to have you here. Excuse me. Amaracia said, I made my entire song in August. Yeah. So Amaracia has already mentioned this to me. He created the song in August and he set it to release on the 1st of September through Amuse, who take about 30 days to release. So it's a race against the clock. We will actually it'll be good. We'll be able to put Amuse to the test for you there. And Amaracia will tell us if his song is released in time. Tom Rochelle, question. Are covers permitted for Songtember? Look, if it's going to get you creating music, I mean, the idea of Songtember was to create original music, but I don't really care. Yeah, if you release a cover song, if you release it, so the other thing I've said with Songtember is I'll buy anyone's song. So if you release a song to iTunes, I'm going to buy a copy because I love it. I've got my Songtember 2019 playlist on iTunes, and I can go back and I can go, oh yeah, that's right, that was that person that released that song. So I'll be buying all the songs so that I can have my Songtember playlist. So yeah, if it's a cover song, it just makes it slightly more difficult to release. But yeah, if it's what I've said, a lot of people look down their nose on cover songs, and I actually think cover songs are great because playing covers, like most of us start out playing other people's songs, and it teaches you so much about song structure, about chord progression, about melody, about counter melody, about what works with what and what doesn't, that I think it's totally worth playing cover songs. And I still play. I do the happy hour every week where I'm usually playing cover songs. I still learn more interesting and different things from playing cover songs over time. So I will continue to do that and encourage folks to play cover songs. So that's a long-winded way of saying, yes, sure. Play cover songs, record cover songs, do it. Absolutely. In fact, Gary Hubbs, who's not here at the moment, but was here yesterday when I was doing a test run of this stream. He recently did a really awesome cover of a song by The Weeknd, and I'll be playing that. I usually don't do covers for Your Music Live. I've got to the point now where when I do Your Music Live, I get so many copyright claims from various places that I just go, I'm just putting it out there. I'm just going to throw it out there and see what happens. So we will be doing that. We'll see if we've got any others. Righty dokie. Cool. I'm going to jump back over to this one. Boop. I do like this interface. This Restream interface is good. Is the quality okay? If you could give me I don't usually like to do this mid-live stream, but if you could just give me a note in the comments to just say yay or nay with the quality of this, then please let me know, because I'm checking out obviously the audio quality, the video quality, the stream, everything's going through, because it's my first time with Restream, and at this end it's working really well. So hopefully it's doing the same at your end. Let's do it. Let's listen to some vocals. And when I say vocals, these were recorded just before, as I was drinking my coffee, like literally maybe about half an hour ago. So these are very fresh vocals, and I don't have words yet. So I'm working on vocal melody. I don't know if anyone else does it the same way, but the way I write is that I don't write the words and then try and smush them in. I like the music. I guess I'm more a music guy than a lyric guy. I'm more the who are those guys? Bernie and I don't know. So I'm showing my ignorance of songwriting, but there's the famous two dudes. One was the lyrics, one was the music, and they wrote the stuff. Anyway, I'm the music guy, so I don't actually write the lyrics generally first. I normally just do a bit of something like this that you're about to hear. So let's come in and we'll listen from the start of the song here, and you'll see where my lyrics will come in here in the verse sections, and then the chorus section here. You can see it's going to be a pretty sparse lyrical song. We'll take a bit of a look at this and a little bit of a play. Let's do it. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. La da 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 da. La da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da da da. And there's that variation coming in with that additional synth down there. So yeah, you can hear that it's very much borrowed from kind of Eddie Vedder style lyrics. So obviously it's going to be more like a a bit more like that. In fact, there's a Pearl Jam song that kind of has some elements of this as well. Now, I did yesterday, I was walking around, this is the way sort of my head works, is I was walking around and I was just trying to find some words that sort of fit into the sounds that I was going with. And we'll see, I don't have this connected in, but we'll see if I can bring up my voice memos app and we'll embarrassingly play just from my speaker here through the microphone the words that I came up with. Because this is the thing, always have your voice recorder, always be recording, ABR, because you won't remember this. And I honestly, right now, can't remember what the words were. But I know that I recorded them yesterday. It's 13-second recording. Let's hit play on this one and see what I came up with. It's a new beginning, ready if you want it. All you gotta do is leave the past behind. Oh, okay. So it's a new beginning. What did I say? It's a new beginning. Ready if you want it. Ready if you want it. All you gotta do is, okay, it's a new beginning, ready if you want it. All you gotta do is leave the past behind. Let's use it for now. It's a placeholder. Let's just see, I'll mute these vocals. And let's just do a live vocal performance of this chorus, and I'll add a little verb to my vocals. Get off the mic a bit so I don't blast your ears off, and get my Eddie Vedder on. All right, I'm going to do it. Let's try. Oh, it's a new beginning, ready if you want it. All you gotta do is forgot the last line. What was that last line? Leave the past behind. There you go. It rhymes with it anyway. It's not forgot the last line, but it is leave the past behind. The problem with a song that has the word past in it is I don't say past. But you know what? In a song, especially a rock song, when you use that R sound instead of ass sound, it's like dance. You don't say, I'm gonna dance all night. it just sounds super weird. And the same with past and fast. I don't say past and fast, so I kind of have to go somewhere in between. So it's not fast or fast, it's fast, fast. So yeah, to make it not sound weird for me and weird for others, it's got to be somewhere in between. So yeah, let me just see if I can remember those again. It's a new beginning. Yep. Ready if you want it. All you gotta do is leave the past behind. All you gotta do is leave the past behind. Let's yeah, I'll put on some ridiculous reverb and we'll just try that one more time. One more time with feeling. So are we in the right section? No, we're not. We'll come back here. Come back here. And I'll see if I can remember the words this time. It's a new beginning. Ready if you want it. And all you gotta do is leave the past behind. Yeah, I think we hang out on that last note, and I've got that 1 bar freeze in there, so you'd notice that that's the only section that's 9 bars as opposed to 8 bars, so it's got that 1 bar just hold, just that little bit of suspense, and we might even be able to put some sort of reverse cymbal in there or something just to bring it back in. So that is where we're at. Now, I didn't mention this final section because I'm still working on this, but if you don't remember what we had in here, it's going to basically bring in a bit of a guitar riff that's going to go at a much faster speed. So when we get to the end here, when we get to this final part where we do the final riff, which you're familiar with now, it's going to do this. And then it's just going to kick into some ridiculous fast parts that are variations upon that. And that's where it probably will become a complete rock song. I don't think the synths or anything will make it there. I think that will just be wall of guitars, bass, drums, screaming vocals for about 30 seconds, and then just finish up and just do it. So like a song within a song. And we're going to have to use some pretty funky techniques here if we're using Garageband to do that. And we may even look to use a different app. Ooh, I know, sacrilege. Excitement. I'll have a quick drink and then I'll swing back over to the folks who are here live. We'll finish up with any final comments and then we'll be done for today. So there you go. What do you think? We are 4 days in, well, 3 days in, and I think we've got a good groundwork. I think the basis of a good song is here, and we just need to keep working on it and leveraging it. And hopefully the reason I'm doing this is you're not going to do what I do. You're not going to look at all these tips and go, I'm going to follow exactly what Pete did, because it would be unwise. All these workflows that I use may not work for you, but some may, and some you may have never even thought of before. And you're thinking, I never thought that I don't actually have to work out the words first. I can just write the melody. It's like, yeah, of course you can. It's the best way to do it. A lot of the best singers of all time have done that. Aerosmith dude looks like a lady. He just wrote, na, 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 na. Steven Tyler, thank you. I had to think Liv Tyler. I had to go backwards. I have to go, who's his daughter? I really like her. It's Steven Tyler. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, he notoriously did this. When Aerosmith were writing a song, they'd be rocking out on the chords, and Steven Tyler would just be there with the microphone going, da 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 da. Da, 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 da. And he'd be like, dude looks like a... How you get from there to there, I don't know. Anyway... I'm working my way back upwards because Bubba's got a question here. What is the BPM for this tune? So it's 70/140. So it depends whether if the drums are doing their halftime thing, it's at 70 BPM. When they're doing their sort of full-time thing, it's 140. So I guess it's 140. That's what I've got it set at, is 140. But because the drums are doing the they're kind of doing a halftime, so yeah, 140. There you go. 70 and 140, exactly. Is the song in drop D? It most certainly is. That's why we can do ridiculous things at the end like this. Yeah, so that's why we can do the very cool 5-3, 5-3 open, 5-3 open, 5-3 open. One of my favorite things to do in drop D. Every time I put my guitar in drop D tuning, I turn on some distortion and then just basically go and then you got to add in that 6 just to, anyway. You can tell I'm having fun with this, can't you? We'll move on up. I'll just make sure I haven't missed anything that anyone had to say. Now I hear Dave Matthews Band. Well, there you go. See, there's all sorts. Don't drink the water. I'll have to listen to that one. Jeff Brush said that part there reminded me of Silverchair. So there's a Silverchair song. Look it up. It's a really cool song. It's from their Freak Show album. It's called The Door, and it goes. The intro is like. And when I'm playing this riff, I've got that in my head. So clearly, again, borrowing with pride. It doesn't sound exactly like it. Different tempo, different guitar tone. But yeah, there's definitely elements of a few Silverchair songs in there. And also some Foo Fighters. Yeah, there's always going to be Foo Fighters in my songs as well. Thank you, Mobile Metal. Yeah, this is probably my most metal song ever. It's got some metal elements in there, doesn't it? Definitely something. Excuse me. Yellow Ledbetter for sure. Yeah, it's got that Pearl Jam Yellow Ledbetter kind of vibe going on there. We got some lyrics going on here. I like it. People sharing some lyrics. Jack Smith walking down the street in a dream full of symphony. Walking down the street, dream filled symphony. I like it. Maury says great guitar sounding real. Thank you. Really like it. It kind of works to the Da 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 clip. Oh, so they were lyric suggestions. Yeah, there you go. Walking down the street in a dream-filled symphony. I can't speak today. Symphony. Tom Rochelle here. Excuse me a moment. Pop it on the screen so I can have a cough and then you can read it. If you listen to any Metallica demos, James Hetfield always sings na 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 because he writes lyrics last minute. Yeah, absolutely. I'm going for president, am I? I think I'm old enough now. You have to be 35, so tick. I think you also have to be a US citizen, so might struggle there. I'll have to settle with Prime Minister of Australia instead. I'll go. Just do that. Walls are for ladders, not for heads. I like it. Scott says, I like this approach, figuring out melody and lyrics coming along well. Thank you. Mobile Metal says he agrees. Yeah, definitely needs some delay. And I probably should have played around. I don't have my effects set up here to do. Actually, I could. No, I'm not going to do it today. But yes, a delay. When I actually go to record it, I will definitely play around with some delay. I like some delay, a little slap back in some parts. I reckon some slap back delay in the verse sections with a bit of reverb, and then really add a second delay that's going to be a longer delay. So it's a new beginning, ready if you want, even like last word delay maybe. Righty dokie. I think we're going to. So Maury P says, are the developers going to let you keep Auria Pro permanently? GarageBand is sounding good. I would like to hear the same project on Auria using their effects. Yeah, so they are. So thank you. And thank you to the folks at, I forget the name, the Auria people. Thank you to them. And thank you to Steinberg for Cubasis 3. They've both let me keep the demo copies I've used for the demos of those, so I can continue using those. So yeah, that's kind of the vague plan here, Maury, is that I'm thinking I might throw some tracks into Auria Pro, into Cubasis, even if I send them there to process and then send them back. Or maybe I use sort of GarageBand as my basis, my home base, and then as we get towards the end, I shift things over and maybe use some of the cool things, because the Steinberg folks are actually kind enough to give me all the plugins packs as well. So I've got all the Steinberg, all the Waves plugin packs in Cubasis, so they could be awfully fun to play with. So I'm very tempted to go and do that as well. So we will see. Hang on. So the transition will be cut halftime. Very cool. Yeah, Pseudocut. Yeah. So I'm still working exactly what it will be, but yeah, how difficult I want to make it for myself. I'm either going to ramp it, so ramp the tempo, which means I will have to manually record drums that ramp up at tempo, and then just put them in as my metronome, and then record over the top of them. Because as you know, once you go to a different BPM, GarageBand is not your friend. end. Like the metronome here won't work. You won't be on your grid anymore, but it should be okay. If I'm just doing it for vocals, guitars, drums, bass, then all I need to do is basically record my drums in a separate project, bring them in here as an audio file, and then line them up, and then the grid just basically becomes redundant at that point, and then I just play along with the drums at whatever speed they are. So whether I do them at a set speed to just increase the speed, or whether I ramp it up, it could be fun to try both and see what happens. Could be a train wreck, but that's all right. We like train wrecks around here. It's all fun. All fun and games. Let's see. Oh, we got a lot more comments here. Sion is here, made it. Thank you. Everyone was looking for you, Sion. So you are here now. Amaracia says, crappy, but this live stream made my day better. Well, there you go. Making lives better, one live stream at a time. Wavelab, is it Wavelabs, Jade, that do Audio Pro? I think it is Wavelabs or Wavelab Studios or Wave something. But they're cool. Is it me, or is the video and sound out of sync? Now, is it this video and sound that I'm talking that's out of sync? Because I can see a bit of out of sync on my screen. And again, I'm trying this for the first time. Lost the sync a bit. So is it... yeah, let me know if it's coming through. I'll rewatch this because, again, it's my first time using this, but it looks like it's out of sync. So has it just gone out of sync, or has it been out of sync for the entire stream? Let me know. And let me know if it's this and not just my audio, because this is going to be a bit out of sync. This is using AirPlay for the video on the iPad, but yeah, if my lips have gone out of sync, it's probably just my my old computer and the horsepower it needs to do all this streaming has gone down the tubes. We will see. Do you think Logic Pro will come out on the iPad Pro? I think so. I think it's almost a foregone conclusion now. It's just a matter of when, really. Probably around the time that the Silicon Macs start coming out, the new chips on the new Macs, I reckon there. Let's see. I don't think we've got any other questions. Sync is fine for Tom Rochelle, and Sync seems better. Might have just floated out. It does that sometimes. It's well, any stream will, but okay, yeah. It's you, but it's good now. Okay, so yeah, it might just be my thing. Why don't we turn off? I'll completely turn off that, and then that might make it a little bit better, because it's not going to be pushing as much stuff out there. Gone out of sync midstream, then came back. Yeah, there you go. Okay, I think we are almost done. Oh, there you go. Wavelab. Yeah, Bubba, I still haven't bought WavePad. You mentioned it a while ago. Actually, I think you made a donation just so that I could buy WavePad, and I never did. So I think I need to do that. It allows you to increase tempo and preserve pitch. There you go. So gradually, yeah. So there you go. That might be something that I need to play around with. Alrighty, I think we're done here. Thank you for being here. Don't forget that for all of your Songtember needs, you can go here. StudioLiveToday.com. Continue using the hashtag Songtember. That's made it really easy for me. I've been able to, whether I'm on Instagram or Facebook or in the Create, Record, Release group or on YouTube, anywhere I can actually search hashtag Songtember. There is one church that is also using hashtag Songtember. So if you get any weird comments about your songs from people saying this is hardly pious, then don't be surprised, because yeah, I don't own, you can't own a hashtag, and I definitely don't. I just found that not many people were using it last year, and not many people use it any year, so we'll go with it. But yeah, do go over to StudioLiveToday.com, where you can check out all the things there, my gear guide, all of my live schedules, and you can join the mailing list. That's what I recommend, because what I do tonight, so Friday night my time, Friday during the day for you, I send out my newsletter, my weekly newsletter, and that's got a bit of an update from the week, and it's got the live schedule of everything that's happening over the weekend. So if you've ever gone, how do I keep up with all of the live streams and know when Pete's going live? Well, get on the mailing list. Just go to StudioLiveToday.com and you'll be able to jump on the mailing list over there. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this one. Hope it gave you a little bit of encouragement or motivation, or just makes you go, I just want to get out there and record myself now. That's 100% the intention of this. So thank you for being here. Enjoy your weekend. I will be around here. Your Music Live tomorrow, then Home Studio Q&A. We'll have a happy hour. If I can stop this tickle in my throat, because that's always fun trying to sing, then yeah, we'll be doing a happy hour on Sunday, and then a Garageband weekly rounds out the weekend. And all those times and dates are different wherever you are in the world. Take care of yourselves and of others, folks. Keep rocking, and I'll see you